Hey, good Palm Sunday evening,
Well,
everyone. This is State Representative Brad Halbrook, and we've got a jam-packed Sunday Night Live for you here with Chris Miller, Dan Calkins, and David Freeze. Good evening, gentlemen. Welcome to your safer, smarter Sunday night alternative. What's going on, Chris?
Well, we've just been living the dream here in northeastern Coles County today as we've watched our country continue to spiral out of control. You know, the state's in shambles, the country's in shambles, and the swamp has become a hot tub for most politicians in Springfield and Washington, D.C., and we're looking more and more like a banana republic every day.
Exactly right.
Just
Well,
to cheer
also,
you up.
what's
Just
that?
to cheer you up to start with.
Well, yeah, I got it. So also helping us in this relentless pursuit of truth, logic, and common sense, Dan Calkins. What's going on, Dan?
oh, greetings from Decatur. All is well. Fortunately, not a lot of damage here from the storm, but around the state, it wasn't very good. By the way, Amy Grant just tried calling me, so I don't know if somebody wants to text her. Maybe she wants on tonight.
Ah.
Yeah, if he wants to check in. So we'd have a bipartisan meeting tonight.
Oh, no, don't be rude to Amy.
Well, and so
all is well.
tonight
Take care, Sunday night.
thanks, Dan, for joining us, and also hopefully helping us to elevate to a higher level from the definition of mediocrity. David Freeze from the southwestern corner of the state. David, hopefully you'll bring a new level to the program here this evening.
Well, I am going to be positive this evening, given the fact that the weather was absolutely beautiful today here in Redbud, Illinois. Although I spent most of the day watching my daughter play basketball, trying to raise two kids with the proper morals and ethics. So hopefully we have future leaders, at least in this house, to take over and make some good decisions for our state in the future.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. Well, guys out there tonight, appreciate you tuning in. And I know the weather was tough this weekend. A lot of places we've got some damage in northern Illinois around Belvedere, evidently, and in the southeastern part of our state, or our corner over here in Robinson, there was a few fatalities, a lot of damage, a lot of houses blowed away and damaged alike. And so we continue to pray for the recovery there, pray for the loss of those families, and it's just tough when we have the spring weather blow through like it does. Tornadoes just pop up and do their damage. It's unpredictable, and so anyhow, we got to pray for those folks that are mourning the loss of family members and friends, and the ones that are assisting in the cleanup and getting everybody's power back on. So with that, guys, we've got to help our viewers tonight navigate through this Let's Go Brandon economy and the Let's Go Pritzker economy too. And, the way they want to run the policy in the state is just crazy and in the nation. So we had a great press conference on Monday over in Danville. Chris, you kind of led that off. That was an interesting press conference. Any comments about how that went?
No, I think that it's, I think that one of the things that we've been called to do and challenged to do and charged to do is to expose what the radical left and the Democrats are up to, and because they were trying to open up that abortion clinic or baby killing mill under the cover of darkness, and it's really a tragedy because the people of Danville don't want that, and the information was really hard to come by, but we had to finally FOIA everything to find out what was really going on. And come to find out what we thought was true. And I know that was one of the things that we wanted to do when we were there on Monday, is to peel back the layers of the onion and expose what was going on, so the people of Danville, the good people of Danville, can rise up and say they aren't going to do this on our watch. And so I thought the press conference went very well. We got a lot of good coverage, and hopefully shined the light of truth on that whole mess there.
Yeah, exactly. No, I thought it was a great press conference, and Dan, you were a part of that. Adam and Mary Kate Zander from Right to Life, and it was just it was a good conference, well attended. We had 50, 60 plus supporters from the community there, so Yeah, thought it was a good event. So hopefully,
Yeah, well, it's interesting that this abortion doctor from Indianapolis
mm,
is going to take charge of that clinic if it actually does get built. We hope that the city council will come up with a resolution and maybe some zoning or some other problem, create some other roadblocks if they can. But I mean, this is I guess the typical, this is what Governor Pritzker and the Democrats want. They want these abortion doctors to come from all over the country. I don't know what this lady's medical record is. I'm going to presume that she's got a spotless medical record. But if she didn't, she's still welcome here to practice performing abortions. So out of state, coming here, taking advantage of the laws of Illinois and the taxpayers.
Right.
And the people, you're right, Chris, the people of Danville were not happy Monday. Not at all.
Yeah, unfortunately, I was not able to make that. I saw that on the Illinois Freedom Caucus site. Great press conference. It's very unfortunate. Here we find ourselves. I remember, the Democrats always advocated safe, legal, and rare. That is not their position anymore. It's full-fledged, full-on abortion, regardless of what's going on. I mean, for those of you who are, have a religious background, it's like a sacrament. It's really sad where we find ourselves today.
Yeah.
Well, it's no doubt a religion. It's no doubt it's a cult. And what does cults do when they get found out? They just cult harder. And that's what we see going on. And the taxpayers are funding this thing in the state of Illinois now. And I think that's just shameful. If the abortion stuff isn't bad enough, the taxpayers have to foot the bill for it. So just unreal. Just unreal. What is the number? Did they say about 30,000? The last numbers we knew was about 30,000 abortions a year in the state of Illinois.
Yeah, I think it was maybe just a little bit higher than that from the numbers that we got the other day, if I remember right.
Yeah, and the number of out-of-state abortions that are performed here in the state of Illinois,
Right.
We're the mecca of the Midwest for abortions, and it's sick. It is really just sick.
Yeah.
Well, we have so many wonderful things here in the state of Illinois, but yet we're known for we're becoming the baby killing capital of the Midwest, and it's really a tragedy.
It's bad. It is.
Well, and the folks that want to lecture to us that seem to think they have the moral authority over it, they're presiding over the murder capital of the United States, maybe the murder capital of the world, right?
Yeah. They're killing them on two fronts.
Yeah.
Well, and we heard John Bach. Many of you all know John Bach. He spoke last night at an event Chris and I were at, and it was stunning, guys. He said that there are more murders in Chicago than 41 other states combined.
Yeah. Annually.
Crazy.
Well, I think this ties in with abortion. It's the cheapening of life is what it comes down to. They don't have any problem disposing of an unborn child. They've cheapened life, and that carries over to those that are living today.
Right.
There's a reason why young men have no problem shooting somebody else in cold blood for no reason.
Right.
Yeah, you're right, David.
So this I get an email every week. You guys can go to the website. It's called heyjackass.com, and the March summary came out for Chicago. 36 were killed, 144 wounded, but that's down from March in 2022 when 41 were killed and 193. So things are letting up a little bit, but it's still right at the average of the last 10 years. So I just think it's insane that we're lectured by these folks from Chicago. And of course, in light of what happened in Nashville, a tragic shooting down there first of the week, and the president wants to institute some nationwide gun ban. It's just crazy.
Yeah, well, I mean, and I'm sure the rest of you have gotten some of the same emails that I've gotten, and people want to know why and why we have our position, why we are, fighting against these, I think, blatantly unconstitutional laws. And one of the things that I tell them is, so if the Second Amendment isn't what it says it is, what about the First? What about the Fifth? I mean, where do you draw the line? If you want to start chiseling away at the Constitution, where do you stop? And that, you know, you know, it's just amazing. And the Second Amendment is, I mean, the people that wrote this, what kind of divine inspiration they had. But, the Second Amendment is the insurance policy. It's the insurance policy for the other amendments. And,
Exactly.
and if you lose that insurance policy, how do you enforce or protect or stand up against the tyranny of the left? And they tell you you can't assemble, you can't meet with your friends, you can't go to church, and then they tell you that you have no right to remain silent because we're not solving crimes fast enough. So you don't have a right to an attorney, and you don't have a right, you're going to be convicted. And David, I mean, you see it. You see it in your law practice. Where does it stop?
I think that one thing that we have to acknowledge is the entire Bill of Rights is under attack right now by the radical left and the people that want to destroy Illinois as well as destroy America. And, it's just, Barack Obama made the comment in, 2008 that he wanted to fundamentally transform America. And,
Correct.
with the banking crisis, with the cooperation of the Saudis, Brazil, China, and the collapse, they're hell bent on collapsing our dollar and ending our currency, and a lot of this is just because they've trampled on the Bill of Rights, and now they're wanting to censure us. They're wanting to take our guns. They're attacking the first 10 amendments, which is our Bill of Rights that are supposed to be guaranteed, because we're supposed to be a country that is governed by the rule of law. And they've made a complete mockery of all these things by their behavior. And, and I think that right now they're trying to inflame the people and piss everybody off so bad that they resort to violence. But I want to say that it's extremely important that we don't go down that road, because they would love to have a police state and love to continue to tyrannize all of us. And so it's important that we pray and that we vote and we do the things that we can do to civilly to keep these clowns in check and keep them out of our lives. But we can't do it through any type of violence. It has to be through the voting booth and quit electing these radical leftists to public office.
Yeah. Well, you're so right, Chris. This comment that Barack Obama made in 2008 to fundamentally change America, many would believe that Joe Biden is Barack's third term. And what's going to be the shape of our country, the way things have accelerated since 2008? What's going to be the shape of our country if the Dems win nationally in 2024? I'm not sure voting is going to be enough, Chris and Dave and Dan. I'm not sure voting is going to be enough. I'm not sure what the answer is.
Well, we have to vote, and we have to obviously make sure that the process is fair and honest. And we've got our work cut out for us over the next year. I mean, we have to make sure that the voting rolls are cleaned up. We have to make sure that people who aren't able to vote don't vote. We had that conversation on the driver's license bill. It'll take a huge effort, and people are going to have to care. They're going to have to stop being complacent and thinking oh, it'll be okay, or my vote doesn't count. But they do. Every vote counts. We've seen it. We've over and over again. And we've got a year. We've got a year to get things fixed.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Right. Well, right. So voting is important, but there's many other tasks that's going to have to play into this. We've got to find the right candidates. We've got to find the right resources, the right support to help get them across the finish line. This protection of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, you know, at a national level and our Constitution at a state level, vitally important.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Candidates. I mean, you know, we got really elected some solid Americans in the House last cycle. I mean, we've got some really great guys. Jed, Tip Sword, Howder.
Right.
You know, we've got some really good freshmen that are coming along.
Right.
But we need to supplement that. We need to supplement that, you know, in a year. And we need good people willing to stand up and
Mm-hmm.
you know, fight for what's right in the face of adversity. So I look forward to going out and helping, you know, encourage people to run. I think we all need to. I know the Freedom Caucus will be involved in some of that, but we've got to find another 6, 8, 10 good, solid, freedom-loving citizens that are willing to come join us in the House.
One of the things that we need to not forget to mention this evening in our conversation, how important the elections are on this coming Tuesday with the school board elections. And it's important that we've seen what the Democrats want to do. They want to indoctrinate our children because they know that if they do a good job, that they're going to be the leaders of the next generation, and they're going to be the ones that are governing. And we can see that because this group of freshmen that have come in on the left side of the aisle are about as radical as you could possibly get. And so it's important that we elect Republicans, and not just Republicans, but conservative Republicans to all the school boards up and down the state, so they can put up their hand and say, stop, that we aren't going to do this anymore. We aren't going to allow our kids to be indoctrinated. We're going to allow them to be over sexualized. We want them to learn to read, write, and do math and understand real history and understand how exceptional the United States of America really is. And patriotism is important, and love of country is important. And we need to stop the ridiculousness that we see going on in the classroom.
Wait, you don't want feminine hygiene products in our boys' bathrooms?
Well, it's not.
I mean, that's what we're. That's what we're
it's
dealing
not
with.
boys. It's not boys' bathrooms anymore.
Yeah,
They're
right.
generally. I mean, that's what's coming. It came out of the House. It's going to the Senate. Hopefully, cooler heads will prevail in the Senate, and there'll be enough pushback to have, keep them from taking that bill up. So, yeah. I mean, you know,
I mean, obviously we need good candidates, but we need a grassroots effort. We need everybody involved. I mean, the problem is, you know, so many of the people on our side work, you know, 40, 60, 70 hours a week and raise a family. You know, they've got to set time aside, and we've got to get those guys engaged.
Yeah. I think freedom is not as free as we think, and it's just going to take a lot of effort on everyone's part to maintain this level of freedom that is, some would say, slowly slipping away incrementally right underneath our watch right this very second. I mean, all this is just incrementalism, just, you know, death by 1,000 cuts, right? I mean, it's just who would have thought a few years ago we would be dealing with multi-gender bathrooms?
Right.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. I've got my gender figured out.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I hope so at your age.
Yeah. No, we don't, David, don't go there. That's not nice. It's going to be 2-1.
Well, the thing about it is is that we're watching in real time the attempted destruction of our constitutional representative republic, and people that are paying attention are beginning to wake up. And I know that anytime that I can get a hold of a microphone, I remind people that if you wanted to draw up a blueprint to destroy Illinois and destroy America, what would that look like? And my thoughts are you destroy safety and security, you destroy quality education, you destroy economic opportunity, you destroy the banking system, you destroy energy independence, you'd have a wide open border, and you'd take everybody's guns so they couldn't protect themselves. And I mean, we see this happening in real time, and the adults in the room have to stand up and push back with all their might to stop this onslaught to destroy America, and we have to call it out. We got to be loud. We have better ideas. The Republican Party has better ideas than the Democrats. Tax, borrow, spend, regulate. It's not working. There's never been an example where it's ever worked, and so it's important that we continue to push the fundamental ideals that make America America and that make America great.
True. We got elections Tuesday. I think
Yeah.
we ought to, encourage before we get out of here, encourage everyone that's listening. You need to vote. You need to vote in these elections. It's school boards, municipal elections, mayors and such, council members, village board members.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely imperative that good people vote. Do not let these decisions be made on your behalf by someone who does not share your values. I think that's as politely as I can put it.
Right. Well, and I know that I mean the rumor on the street is J.B. Pritzker has invested $1 million in these school board campaigns. I don't know whether that's true or not, but it smells like it's true anyway. To help the radical left get their message out and try to diminish law-abiding patriots from actually being elected to public office.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
didn't have any problem spending money in our primary, so I'm sure he's got no problem spending money in school board elections.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
good.
Well, the Chicago mayoral race is going to be pretty important. They had decided in Chicago they were done with Lori Lightfoot and her woke dumpster fire agenda. That didn't work out very well for her. But they've got a choice up there, don't they, guys? I mean, they could maybe go right back to where they were with one candidate and maybe not quite so much with the other, but they've got to kind of discern and kind of make the right choice in Chicago, or they're just going to have another 4 years of the same.
Mayor Lightfoot could have survived this. We, remember when she came to Springfield early on, and we, told her we'd be happy to come up to Chicago and have lunch and hear about the governments.
Right.
And remember that she reached out to her and met us press conference and never heard from her again. To her demise. I could have saved her. Memory is a bad thing. I lost you.
Yeah, there you are, back. Yeah, you're breaking up just a touch, Dan, for some reason. I don't know if it's on your end or my end.
Keep smiling.
Yeah, and I apologize, Dan. You may have made this comment, but the mayor-elect, when she came, I don't think she'd taken the office yet, or maybe she had right there early on, and she had told us that I think she spoke on the House floor that hey, there's more to Illinois. She understands there's not a wall at I-80, and she wanted to have conversations with people on the other side of I-80. And again, you may have spoke to this, Dan, I'm not sure, but I communicated at least on 2 different occasions via email and the like to try to set up a meeting, and no follow-up. So she was just all talk, and that was the end of that. So anyhow, and to her demise, she's gone, or will be gone in a couple of weeks here. So yeah.
I've not met Mr. Valles personally, but my understanding he is one of the last adults in the room in Chicago. I hope he pulls it out from what I understand, because as Chicago goes, so goes the state of Illinois, and we need some changes in that city.
Right. Yeah, no doubt. Well, this business of the murder capital of the United States, more murders there than in 41 other states combined, and they tell us that the reason they have all that is because of the lax laws in the neighboring states. Well, if that's true, why isn't Indianapolis got this extreme high murder rate? Why doesn't St. Louis or Kansas City or Des Moines or Milwaukee or wherever? Why don't they have the murder problems there that we're experiencing in Chicago? If that's the case. But maybe they speak out of both sides of their mouth. So, well, guys, we're done with Springfield for a couple of weeks. Senate adjourned yesterday afternoon or evening. I'm not sure what time they got out. We'll be back after Easter is over, and then it'll be a sprint to May 19th. I'm not sure how that's all going to go, but I'm sure it's going to be an intense few weeks in there as we pick business back up there after Easter when we get back. Any closing thoughts? David, let's go around. David, let's start with you. Any closing thoughts as we close out this evening?
I just actually glad to be out of Springfield for a couple of weeks, because if we're not there, we're not passing bad bills.
That's exactly right.
Hate saying it, but that's what's going on. And obviously, I love being in Southern Illinois. It's God's country.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks for being on, David. Dan?
Thank you. Everybody have a great Easter, and we'll catch up to you here maybe Tuesday night, Brad.
Yep, exactly. Tuesday night. Hopefully we'll have something, whether it'll be our legislative agenda part 2 or something, but we'll be hopefully back in good order. Our schedule should be better for Tuesday night. So thanks for mentioning that, Dan. Chris, Chairman of the Freedom Caucus.
Well, it's nice to be able to have the opportunity to make all the right people mad. And it's a blessing to not have to spend the next 2 weeks in the bad idea factory as we watch the smoke continue to roll out of there with bad ideas. So we're giving the citizenry of Illinois a break, just like David said, is that as long as we're not there, nothing bad can happen. So anyway, we'll be back in tune or in touch on Tuesday evening, hopefully, Lord willing.
Hopefully it will work out. Guys, I just want to kind of mimic what Glenn Beck said the other night. He was on with Tucker, and his closing comments after he made some really eye-opening remarks there in about 6 or 7 minutes. But he says, turn to God, pray for peace, and put on the full armor of God. And I don't know if there's any more wise or sage advice that could be said from a national speaker and author as Glenn Beck. That's good advice coming from anyone. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to close out with that. Thanks for joining us. As always, we would covet that you like and share and follow and subscribe to our content to help us overcome the big tech overlords and the algorithmic gods. How's that? I'm getting a little better at those few big words. So anyhow, with that, guys, have a good Palm Sunday evening, and we'll talk to you real soon.
Thank you, guys.